can't sell your way or walk your way or anything else out of problems. That's a very good observation, right? You can't. I
Right.
used to, I traveled around. I mean, I hoboed, from one uh, part of the nation to another, and did all this stuff, and I always took Fred with me, and that was the horror. I couldn't get away from Fred, and I always kept thinking I could, that if I because I didn't think it was Fred. I thought it was you, and I thought it was this, and I thought it was that, but it certainly wasn't me. But this was the only thing that I took, and trouble awaited always. Yeah. So it's if we can see our way into what's bothering us, then, in other words, if we can find out the true identity of our teacher, because that guy that you just have so much trouble with, he's your teacher. He's his teacher just as much as I am. There was a very famous teacher, and I'm no good with names anymore, but at the turn of the century in Europe, and he had a bunch of students, and um, they wrote to him. All of them wanted to kick this one guy out because he was of their group, because he was just driving them crazy. And he wrote back, well, he's the only guy that I actually pay to be here. Because he's your teacher. And if you can learn to get along with him, you'll learn to get along with yourself. And the problem is always here. Doesn't mean that, that relatively that Russia doing what it does is good or anything. It's way beyond all that. We're just saying that it's really, and do I suffer from what Russia's doing to Ukraine? My judgment of what's happening there indeed brings about suffering. Is the suffering changing anything? Well, it changes my mood from okay to crummy every time I focus on that. Doesn't mean I ignore that. It means I do what I can and then leave it the hell alone. Is that I can send a donation or whatever, and then don't um, don't spend a world of thought on it. It's not mine. It's not my worry to bury to bear. And it's leave it. Byron Katie, says there's your business, my business, and God's business. And when I stick to my business, right? There's my business, your business, and God's business. When I put my attention on my business and take it away from fixing you and the world, then my life seems to go so much smoother. We don't want to do that. We don't want to. Um, we don't want to focus on us and our distorted view. And you can't be a human being and not have a distorted view. I mean, my God, we sit around and have conversations about are we the smartest thing in the universe? I mean, I can't think of anything dumber than that, right? In the absence of any information whatsoever, can we really make conclusions? The only conclusion you can make, if you want to be a scientist, is that there might be. So might is just not very satisfying, but it's the answer. The might, the okay of things, not the right or wrong, but everything's okay. That doesn't have that same satisfaction as I'm right. And I get it. And all of this. If we can just go with not understanding